In this video, we'll look at where Bitcoin is getting rejected and what that means over the weekend, and also what that means for cryptocurrencies and their projected pump price targets, which you've been following here on the channel. So make sure you're subscribed with the bell notification icon turned on. And thank you for your support, hitting and smashing up the like button to new all-time highs. Great energy and comments from you guys here in the bear market as well. Of course, you can also get thousands of dollars of sign-up bonuses. BitGet is open for US users, so check them out. Link is down below. 10% bonus deposits up to $2.5K if you use BitGet. It's open to everyone, but also US users, and up to $8,000 of sign-up bonuses, plus Bybit as well. The World Series of Trading is about to begin, and there's up to $4,450 of sign-up bonuses. So between the two, up to $12,500 using the links down below. And if you don't use the links, there's some sign-up bonuses, but not as much. So use those links, don't use them, your call. Let's go and have a look at Bitcoin and the rejections that we've been following here. So the first one, 21st of June, coming up to about 21,700. So what I want to do is see where is Bitcoin getting rejected to give me an idea of the resistance level and what happens if we can get above that resistance level. You know, the area that I want to see to then give me the confidence that we're going to see some of the follow through into the Bitcoin price moving up to test some higher prices. And of course, cryptos as well, as they've been going on a slight pump of late. 21,700 is the top of the wick. You know, I love to use bars and clear out the noise because I don't need it. But I know a lot of people like to use some color. The other thing we can get from candles is just where the body is as well. So you can start to see some other support and resistance on the chart. The other rejection is at 21,350. We had another slight rejection on the 24th. This was at 21,450. And if today's bar does close down where it currently is, you could call that a minor rejection as well. The good thing is the prices are getting slightly higher. The volume is dropping, which isn't such a good sign, but it can be overcome if we get some big volume push through as we break past the resistance level. Now I've got this yellow line here as short-term resistance levels because we've seen in the short term Bitcoin continues to get rejected. And like we looked at in the previous video, the top here, and line that up with the volume. So you had increased volume at the top. That's not always a great sign for a follow through. We also had increased volume on another top here, and the market then went down for the next couple of days. Of course, this is short term. And then we also had a minor top here, but the volume wasn't as large, which is a good sign. We had this minor top, volume again was larger than the previous days. That's what we're looking out for. But we've only got 50 minutes left on this bar, and probably by the time you've seen it, you would have seen this close, and I don't expect the volume to be up too high either. So the good news is it looks like we are trying desperately to overcome 21,500. I would want to see a close above 21,700. And you can see this resistance level spans all the way back to the 17th of June. I had a small low here before the market bounced and then, fell. This little one here was back on the 15th of June. So I'm using that one because the market did eventually crash and it was pretty short-lived, but from that point it tried again. So that's why I kind of like that as part of the resistance level. So I really want to see Bitcoin get above about that 21,500. Ideally, this is the key right there, and that one comes in at 21,711. So if you are playing this as a trade, of course, for experienced traders, don't try and trade leverage if you don't have any experience or a plan, or you don't intend to use stop losses. You need to have all these things. It is a much more difficult game. I don't try and shy away from that. Trading is a little more difficult, especially if you're wanting to use leverage. But with cryptos at the moment, we are seeing them pop off. So we'll look at that. But in terms of stops, I had a comment asking where do you put stops and entry. So briefly, this is how I would look at the stops. You can see for a short term, there's a lot going on at this level at about 20,700. So if I was playing the short term game, then if the market broke down from that point, I'll say, well, the short term price action has been rejected. Again, the Bitcoin rejection that I'm looking at here early on in the video, and that we might see some further downside to test these levels down here. Like I pointed out on 23rd of June, so a couple of days ago now, this was back when the market was here at 20.5K. I wouldn't be surprised if we did try and test this level down here. Now, the proviso to that is if we continue up, of course, I know there's always the up, down, the sideways, it's always flip-flopping. when you're investing or trading, you need to have an idea of both sides of the market. These guys that just go all in on bullish only, they're the ones who got you wrecked or your friend wrecked or the next person wrecked. The ones who just say bull only and are really bullish all the time, they have no idea when it comes to trading or investing. That's what retail investors want to hear that during the bull market, so that makes them feel better. That gives them the warm and the fuzzies on the inside. Someone else is on my team. Market's going up with me. You get the idea, right? But if you can have a level head and understand, if the market goes up, I'm going to do this. If it tries to go up and fails, gets rejected, and then does this, I'm going to be prepared. Then you're going to come at the market with a much more holistic view, and you're going to survive long term. The bull only or the bear only, you're missing the macro play here, yada, yada, yada. These guys are all noise, and you'll see them in the comments section as well. So stay away from that on Twitter, YouTube, whatever, and start to develop an understanding of what happens if we go up, what happens if we go down, what happens if we go sideways. No one knows the future. I don't claim to know the future, but if you can have an open mind, it's going to allow you to make the most that you can from the market. Speaking of making the most from the market, looking at cryptos at this point in time, they're the ones that are bouncing at the moment, and people getting super excited about cryptos bouncing. I mean, I'm not going to try and burst anyone's bubble here, but I will remind us all so that we don't get swept up in the hopes and the dreams like we did in the bull market. People did say, I wish you would have told me that earlier. I've been saying it all throughout 2021, bursting the hopes and the dreams of all of the newcomers. Just remember, we're down, in this case, ETH against Bitcoin value, 45%. There has to be a bounce at some point. And guess what? It's come right beautifully on our GAN 50% level. So this is from September 2019, which is when a lot of cryptos found a low against Bitcoin. Remember, Bitcoin found its low in late 2018, early 2019, December, January 2019. So 9 months earlier, Bitcoin found its low, but a lot of altcoins, and in this case, I'm including Ethereum as an altcoin, they didn't find their low value against Bitcoin until late in 2019. That just means that they were still showing relative weakness against the Bitcoin price because Bitcoin was making the gains. Altcoins were making the dollar gains, but they were going down against Bitcoin value. Okay, so ETH, don't ever forget that. We really need to know that moving forward, especially with these pumps that are coming up and what we're expecting with crypto, the price pumps that are happening right now. So we're seeing the last week and a half with ETH has now been up from that low to the current price about 18% against Bitcoin. That's a good sign. It's something to trade, and it's now at $1,230. When we were at $1,230 2 weeks ago, everyone was crying, and now everyone's jumping for joy that we're up 40% from the low. That's why I look at these times as fantastic traders' opportunities, because we've been crushed so much that we could be range bound between $900, which is the Ethereum low. Yes, 880, but 900. And then if it goes up double to 1800, we're still basically at that resistance level of 1700. So we got like 100% range to be trading here. The main thing is not to get stuck at the peaks, like buying those peaks again, or trying to sell out when the market's going down. So trader's market. I'm talking about a trader's market here, not a buy the dip opportunity. I see this still as trading. It's going to take some time. Look at the past. We've seen the market down and sideways, and we need to go through this accumulation zone. These markets just will not dump and then spring back to new all-time highs. Obviously with some little moves like that. I would bet against that. I reserve the right to change my opinion, of course, once we see other signs of strength, but I don't think that is going to happen. If I had to pick right now, I doubt we are going to then just break above some major resistance levels and move to all new time highs very quickly. This is going to take plenty of time for cryptos. Bitcoin, slightly different story. And I bring that up again because we need to know that moving forward for these altcoins, because I see the excitement from people that these alts are starting to move up. And Solana was something that we've talked about plenty of videos ago. I've got this here just a couple of days ago, but talked about it in these previous videos as well. So go back and check that out. If I'm not mistaken, we've got some Solana charts there, and have a look at what we're looking for when it comes to these price targets. Solana, it has bounced from these lows approximately 65%. Now there's some tradable ranges in here. If I use our TIA Gann swing indicator, this pops up on the chart and you can see we're trading with the trend now. You got the breakout. This gives you the uptrend. If I change this signal right here, show break line, you want to have a look at the trend. This turns green. So as this breaks, you can see the dotted line here, that's a green. That's a signal that the market is now up. And we had the higher low form. We had the first higher low out of the bottom. We had the breakout above that previous bar. So there's a lot of good trades here. And if I use this tool right here, top to bottom, people asking, where do you put these targets? Now, this is 100% of this range at about $46. I don't expect it always just goes straight there. And I always play it safely, especially in a bear market. But I think eventually, you know, this market's got some good range-bound trading moves to happen, probably all the way up to about $60 odd, potentially even up to about $75 to $85 as well, which then is fantastic news, again, for the trading opportunities here, because the price target's further up 200%. This is what we are looking for when we're looking for those trading ranges. So if you can devise a plan to keep yourself safe so that you don't get swept up and wiped out of these markets, learn how to get in early with the shorter term breakouts and keep some stops close in case you're wrong, which is always possible because there's no 100% right method. Then there is some good opportunities between these lows and these highs while the market is trying to figure out, are we going on another run or are we starting to pull back into another low? So I don't think that this is the final low, especially for many, many altcoins. They are at the moment going on a reasonable run against their BTC value, which we're seeing here with Solana BTC as the example here that I'm pulling up. Remember, it is down 77% from its old all-time high. It does have to go on moves. And if you look back in history, we take ETH as an example, ETH BTC. You know, if you want to compare Solana to ETH, look at what ETH did. ETH BTC, dump, had a pretty big spring back, a great, fantastic, beautiful trading range of up to 400%. And yes, that was the final bull market top back in 2018. And along the way, it still had some reasonable moves to be had from the Bitcoin chart. So there's 70% just off that pump on the way down to that final low. So there's still a lot of moves to be had even in the bear market rallies. But I just don't see that as the final low. I do think we'll probably come back and test those levels. If not, break down against their BTC value. So keep that in mind. But in terms of trading for the fiat profits, there seems to be a lot of opportunities at the moment. Of course, keep the stops tight in case they start to fail before they reach whatever price targets you have. ADA, you can see it is trying to break out of this zone here. It had the low in May 12th, and has been holding up. So I think eventually this next level here has to break out. And in terms of price targets that we're looking for after these pumps from that low to the support, which may become resistance, there's about an 85% move here up to about 77 cents. So that does give more tradable ranges. I think over time, we'll probably come back and test this zone again for ADA between that sort of 20 and 37 cents. So that's what I'm looking for with Sol, with ADA, with a lot of altcoins which do have sizable moves. Even Ethereum showed that it had some reasonably good moves here on the dollar chart. To take that off log and back to a daily, you can see just the moves in terms of a percentage and the swings. The swings are also looking reasonably good there. Look at 40% from the low, and with our swing indicator, I'll leave a link to this in the video description as well. You can see that we had that 3 days up, 1 day back, and we're just starting to break out of these tops too. So short term, looking okay. I've mentioned it many times about the stops. Stay safe because these are difficult times, but they're more times for traders. And in terms of Bitcoin, we are seeing some sort of rejections here. And don't forget, up to $12,500 of sign-up bonuses. Yes, it is possible. Use the links down below for those extra sign-up bonuses for BitGet. US guys, you're invited to that, and also Bybit as well. This one's up to $4,450, so extra than what's on the website here. I'll see you guys at the next video. Like and subscribe and check out the videos that I got popping up now for more information on cryptocurrencies. Catch you then. Have a great weekend. Peace out.